They're convenient and available at many grocery stores, but as Consumer Reports explains, beneath that golden brown skin could be sodium, and a lot of it.
Do you think the golden, crispy rotisserie chicken under the supermarket heat lamp is a quick, delicious, and healthy dinner option? The truth might make you rethink. Behind that crunchy skin and tempting aroma lies a recipe of injected brine, sugar, additives, and processing techniques designed to extend shelf life and trick your taste buds. 6 major supermarket chains use these tricks to keep prices low and profits high. Let's dive into why supermarket rotisserie chicken might be convenient but far from healthy. Like and subscribe if this video was helpful to you. 6. Publix. Publix is known as the friendly supermarket chain of the American South, where customers are greeted with warm service and the hot food counter always fills the air with inviting aromas. But if you think Publix's rotisserie chicken is a healthier, cleaner choice, here's a reality check that might make you reconsider. The first thing that surprises many is the sweetness. It's not the subtle, natural sweetness of perfectly roasted chicken. It's a bold, lingering sweetness that almost feels like dessert. The reason? It's not some heirloom recipe, but a marinade solution packed with sugar, injected directly into the meat before cooking. Ingredients often include dextrose, maltodextrin, and corn syrup solids. Simple, refined sugars that nutritionists advise limiting, especially for those on low-carb diets or managing blood sugar levels. What's striking is that even the plain version, chosen by many for being less seasoned and supposedly more natural, still contains sodium phosphate and yeast extract. These are common additives in deli meats or processed foods, used to retain moisture, improve texture, and boost umami flavor. The result is chicken that's unnaturally juicy, sometimes spongy, giving a satisfying mouthfeel but far from the texture of traditional rotisserie chicken. Sodium phosphate isn't banned, but consuming too much, especially from processed foods, can strain the kidneys and negatively impact long-term health. Yeast extract, while sounding natural, is a source of glutamate, similar to MSG, which can cause discomfort in some sensitive individuals. There's no denying that many customers love the taste of Publix's rotisserie chicken, especially the BBQ or lemon pepper varieties. But a closer look at the ingredients reveals that the glossy sauce often contains high fructose corn syrup and caramel coloring, 2 things anyone following a clean-eating lifestyle tries to avoid. The key issue isn't that Publix makes bad rotisserie chicken. It's that the brand prioritizes addictive flavors and consistency over authenticity. The meat is processed to always be tender, juicy, and bold, regardless of the season or chicken supply. This works if you're after a quick, convenient dinner and don't mind the ingredients. But if you're aiming for a rotisserie chicken closer to pure, Publix falls short. A truly natural rotisserie chicken would vary slightly each time, sometimes crispier skin, sometimes firmer meat, and those variations are what make the dish authentic. In contrast, when a product is standardized with marinades and additives, you get the same texture and sweet salty flavor every time, but at the cost of consuming extra sugar, salt, and texture-altering chemicals your body doesn't need. 5. Safeway. Safeway is a household name for many American families, especially on the West Coast and in some Midwestern states. Their rotisserie chicken counter is always brightly lit, wafting a tempting aroma that promises a hot, no-fuss dinner. But peel back that golden shell, and you'll find a story of chickens that undergo more processing than you might expect. The first strike against Safeway is how they store and display their chickens. Many sit under heat lamps for hours, turning crispy skin into something wrinkled and soggy, while the meat dries out or loses its natural flavor. Instead of firm, freshly roasted meat, you might end up with chicken that's crumbly or a skin that's lost its initial appeal. But that's not the biggest issue. The real secret lies inside. Many of Safeway's rotisserie chickens are labeled as enhanced with up to 12% solution. Sounds harmless, but this solution often includes MSG derivatives, sodium aerospace, and synthetic flavorings. Some of these ingredients don't have to be fully disclosed, so it's hard to know exactly what you're eating. When you check the ingredient list for flavored versions, like BBQ or teriyaki, you'll find a long lineup of high fructose corn syrup, sugar, caramel color, and other coloring or sweetening agents. The thick, glossy sauce is a sugary mix that makes the meat taste richer, but spikes the sugar content of your meal. This is especially concerning if you're trying to cut back on sugar or eat healthier. Some customers also complain about inconsistent quality. On a good day, Safeway's rotisserie chicken is surprisingly tasty, tender, and well-seasoned. On a bad day, you might bring home a chicken with an off smell, crumbly meat, or signs it was cooked hours earlier and reheated. This stems from many stores receiving pre-processed or pre-cooked chickens from off-site facilities and then simply reheating them on-site. As a brand, Safeway maintains an image of convenience, offering diverse products and options for every taste. But with their rotisserie chicken, that convenience comes with trade-offs: less freshness, more additives, and a technified flavor engineered for consistency. This helps Safeway deliver a uniform experience, but it strips away the rustic, authentic charm that defines a true rotisserie chicken. 4. Whole Foods. Whole Foods has long been seen as a paradise for healthy eaters, a place where you find organic vegetables, grass-fed beef, hormone-free milk, and products labeled "no artificial preservatives." Because of this, their rotisserie chicken counter is often assumed to be the safest choice. But when you look closer, the reality isn't quite as perfect as the brand's reputation. Whole Foods gets credit for avoiding chemical preservatives and minimizing synthetic additives. However, that doesn't mean their rotisserie chicken is 100% natural. Instead of using phosphates or artificial flavorings, Whole Foods still injects a marinade into the meat, just with friendlier ingredients like sea salt, organic cane sugar, and yeast extract. While these sound healthier, yeast extract is still a natural source of glutamate, boosting umami flavor in a way similar to MSG. Sodium content is something many overlook. A 3-ounce serving, about a third of a chicken breast, can contain over 600 milliliters of sodium, and most people eat far more than that in one meal. This means enjoying a Whole Foods rotisserie chicken could easily push you past the daily recommended sodium limit, a key concern for those watching blood pressure or trying to cut back on salt. In terms of flavor and texture, Whole Foods rotisserie chicken has a golden, thin skin that's rarely as crispy as traditional rotisserie because it's not exposed to high, direct heat. The meat inside is tender, but sometimes overly moist, a sign of moisture retention from the marinade process. The overall flavor is clean, with minimal chemical aftertaste, but it lacks the deep, smoky character of charcoal-roasted or handcrafted rotisserie chicken. Another concern for many customers is the price. Depending on the time and location, a Whole Foods organic rotisserie chicken can cost between $10 and $13, nearly triple the price of a Costco chicken. Many are willing to pay this for better meat quality and more humane farming practices. To be fair, compared to other supermarket chains, Whole Foods uses fewer industrial additives, and their meat meets higher standards. However, it's still a mass-produced rotisserie chicken, uniformly marinated for consistent flavor. You're not getting a fresh, hand-seasoned chicken roasted from start to finish on-site. Instead, it's a product optimized for the supply chain, convenient and consistent, but far from the handcrafted rotisserie image many imagine. If you want to know what's next, leave a comment with the number 2. 3. Kroger. Kroger is one of America's largest supermarket chains, spanning many states and known for its wide product variety. At their hot food counter, Kroger's rotisserie chickens are displayed eye-catchingly. Golden skin, a tempting aroma of spices wafting through the air, and a price tag that makes you think, let's grab one for a quick dinner. But if you believe it's a freshly roasted chicken, the truth might surprise and slightly disappoint you. The most obvious issue is the seasoning ingredients. While Kroger offers various flavors, from classic to BBQ or lemon pepper, the ingredient list reads like a lab report: sodium diacetate, an acidity regulator; maltodextrin, a thickening agent; sugar, yeast extract for umami, and spices, a term that sounds natural but often hides synthetic flavorings. These ensure a bold, salty sweet taste that's consistent no matter the time or chicken supply, but they create a product that feels more engineered than handcrafted. The next issue is the preparation process. Not all Kroger stores roast chickens on site from fresh. In many locations, chickens are partially or fully cooked at central facilities, then shipped to stores and reheated before display. This explains why quality varies so much. One day, you get a tender, juicy chicken. Another day, it's dry or tough, with skin that's either lightly crispy or wrinkled and darkened from sitting too long under heat lamps. Eating a piece of Kroger's rotisserie chicken feels consistent in an industrial way. The meat is soft but slightly spongy, with a clear mix of salty and sweet flavors and little trace of the fresh, just roasted aroma. This comes from uniform marination with brine and additives to retain moisture, making the meat appear juicier and heavier. Great for selling by weight, but not ideal for a true culinary experience. Another point is the heavy reliance on strong seasonings. If a chicken is truly fresh and properly roasted, spices should enhance, not overpower, its natural flavor. At Kroger, the thick, bold seasoning often masks the meat's natural taste. This makes it hard to distinguish between flavors beyond the color of the skin. Of course, Kroger excels at convenience and affordability. At a budget-friendly price, you can grab a chicken to feed the family without cooking. For busy people, that's a solid option. But if you're hoping for a fresh, authentic rotisserie chicken that doesn't lean heavily on additives, Kroger falls short of expectations. The downside of a massive chain like Kroger is inconsistent quality across locations. One store might serve a decent rotisserie chicken, while another lets it sit too long under heat lamps, or receives batches reheated multiple times. If you're not careful, it's a bit of a gamble. Kroger benefits from its vast network and buying power, but this scale forces standardization, from marinade recipes to storage methods. The result is a good-looking chicken with a familiar taste but lacking the freshness and culinary character many expect from a true rotisserie. If you value the dining experience over convenience, ask the staff when the chicken was roasted or seek out stores known for on-site preparation. You'll taste the difference from the first bite. 2. Costco. Costco's rotisserie chicken is practically a legend among American shoppers. As you step into their massive warehouse, the rich aroma from the hot food counter pulls you straight to the row of golden glossy chickens, neatly lined up and ready for your cart. Priced at $4.99, a price unchanged for over a decade despite inflation, Costco's rotisserie chicken is seen as a business marvel. But behind that unbeatable price lies a strategy and production process that might make you think twice. First, understand that Costco's rotisserie chicken isn't a profit maker. It's a loss leader. They lose millions yearly to keep the price at $4.99, knowing you'll grab other items while you're there. To make this work, Costco optimizes every step, from farming to slaughter to preparation. They even built a massive chicken production facility in Nebraska, churning out tens of millions of chickens annually to control costs and supply. This reduces reliance on outside suppliers, but raises concerns about animal welfare, with millions of chickens raised in large-scale industrial farms. As for flavor and texture, Costco's chicken tastes delicious thanks to a marinade injected into the meat before cooking. Ingredients typically include sodium phosphate, modified starch, salt, and natural flavor, a vague term that can cover various extracts or flavorings. This solution keeps the meat tender, adds weight, and creates a richer taste than the chicken alone would have. In other words, part of what you're paying for is water pumped into the meat. This explains why Costco's chicken is consistently soft, juicy, and uniform, even after a night in the fridge. But it comes with high sodium levels, potentially exceeding half your daily recommended intake in just one serving. If you eat the skin, sodium and fat content climb even higher. Costco has cleverly turned their rotisserie chicken into an irresistible deal, both a marketing tool and a product that reinforces their low-price, high-quality image. But at its core, it's an industrial product optimized for scale and cross-profit. The injected solution, additives for texture and preservation, and massive centralized farming are all factors consumers should consider. 1. Walmart. Walmart, the name synonymous with everything you need always cheap, naturally offers rotisserie chicken at its hot food counter. As you walk in, the aroma of garlic, lemon, and paprika from their market-side traditional rotisserie chicken seems to call out a hot, golden, flavorful dinner at a wallet-friendly price. But behind that eye-catching skin is a story about how America's largest retailer keeps costs low and supply massive, a story consumers should know. Walmart's biggest win is price. Their chickens are often cheaper than most competitors, but to achieve this, They're not simply fresh chickens roasted on site. Each Walmart rotisserie chicken can contain up to 20% of its weight in an injected solution, a mix of water, salt, sugar, potassium phosphate, and natural flavor. This seemingly harmless term often masks preservatives and flavor enhancers. The result? A single piece of breast meat can pack over 1,300 milliliters of sodium, more than half the daily recommended limit. This makes a dish often seen as healthy, less ideal for those watching blood pressure or following a low-sodium diet. Beyond sodium, the unnaturally soft, almost spongy meat and skin are signs of processing to retain moisture and texture, not the result of artisanal roasting. One overlooked detail is storage time. While Walmart's chickens are displayed hot, many have taken a long journey, brined, packaged, shipped, stored, then reheated or re-roasted at the store. Hot doesn't always mean fresh. Flavor-wise, Walmart uses a bold, crowd-pleasing marinade, salty, garlicky, and slightly sweet, with a warm hint of paprika. But this intense seasoning is designed to mask older meat or quality changes during storage. You rarely get the pure aroma of freshly roasted chicken. Instead, it's a consistent blend of strong spices across every batch. The key takeaway? Low prices come with cost-cutting strategies, and for pre-cooked foods, that often means heavy industrial processing, longer storage, and additives to maintain appearance and taste. Walmart has made rotisserie chicken an effective lure to draw customers in for more purchases, and commercially, it's a clear success. Supermarket rotisserie chickens may be convenient, affordable, and tempting, but beneath that golden skin lies a process of industrial treatment, additives, hidden sodium, and sugar. All 6 major chains have their secrets to keep prices and flavors consistent. For a tasty and safer meal, read labels carefully, choose minimally processed options, or roast your own chicken at home to fully control what goes into your body. Don't miss the next video. Subscribe to the channel now.